Tuesday at 9 p.m. when A Portrait of Europe brings you a fast-paced, entertaining look at an area of Europe rich in beauty and history, evident in the cathedrals, monasteries, and famous Flanders Field Monument. Rediscover the art and architecture of this historical age.
Watch for these items and more on the Home for the Holidays auction, live on Channel 22, November 13th through the 20th.
This is KRCE Channel 22, Rohnert Park, Cotati, member-supported community television for the North Bay.
The International Cooking School with Chef Rene, the Black Hat Chef. Cooking made easy the professional way. Chef Rene is the executive consultant chef for the Delta Queen Steamboat Company. His internationally acclaimed recipes have been selected for today's lesson.
Hello, I'm Chef Rene. How would you like the recipe for 132 clear soups and 64 cream soups? You're going to learn how to do all of these in today's lesson. Just watch and listen. No pencil or paper, please. You'll find out how to receive today's lesson at the end of the program. We're going to prepare our stocks, both clear and creamed, and our clam chowders in the professional way. So let's get started. First things are for the clear soups, we're going to do two things. We're going to use two bases. One, the actual chicken cut up, put in a pot with a mirepoix. Oh my God, right away. What is a mirepoix? I have to explain. A mirepoix is a French term which covers chopped onion, chopped carrot, chopped celery. It's used as a vegetable base to make a stock. Again, the chicken and the mirepoix in one pot. Now then, there are three other ways of making stocks, not just from scratch, which you can do. You can buy bases. Some are professional, which you cannot purchase any other way like this, except through a purveyor, or if you have a friend who owns a restaurant and he's willing to help you out, he'll get it for you. So we're going to use a base. Then you can buy the same stock, which in this case is chicken stock, in a can. Or if you can't do that, then buy bouillon cubes. I suggest you make it from scratch if you can, but if you can't, use a base, such as this. And in the base, what you do after you've made the stock, by just adding the base to water, you chop up the product you're going to cook. In this case, here we have chopped broccoli stems. Not the florets. The florets will go in after the stems have been sauteed in a frying pan, added to the chicken stock, and then when it's cooked, add the florets, finish them off, and just season it. You'll have a clear broccoli soup. You want a cauliflower? These are the chopped stems of a cauliflower. These are the florets. The only thing you have to do after that is add just a little bit of white pepper. Now, the chicken is going to be salty, especially from the base and from the natural chicken itself. The canned chicken may not, so you may have to add a little salt. All right, now we're going to start right from scratch. The first thing we're going to do is cut up the chicken and put it in a pot of boiling water with the mirepoix. Now, it's simple to cut up a chicken. All you have to do is put the chicken down in front of you on the board, rip the two legs away from the side of the chicken just by doing that. You don't have to be a professional to do these things. You don't have to be a professional to turn the wing backward on both sides and just cut it. So the first thing you do is take your knife, cut the leg away, fold it like this so you'll find out where the area is on the bone separation this way, just like this. Watch. The leg is there. You cut it away from the body of the breast, just like this. You can use just the point of the knife. You can pull the knife across the whole thing. Leave the skin on. Leave the skin on. Don't throw the skin off. Leave it on to finish off the chicken. See? That's all. There's the two legs cut in half. Here's the wing. And if you want to chop the wing, you put it right there, pull it, throw that in the pot too. Do the same with the other wing, right there. That's all there is to it. You can pull it down just like that and it separates it. Now you have the breast and the backbone. That's how easy it is. Break the other part. You just pull it apart with your hand. You can actually take a whole chicken apart without cutting any. Now you're going to get to the cartilage, which is in the center of the neck, right by the wing bone. All you have to do is that. Now, if you want to, you can rip the breast off like this, or if you want to be more careful, you can cut it up like this. Now, your whole chicken is all ready, and all you're going to do with this is put it in the pot. Drop all the pieces in. Add the mirepoix. Be sure you bring it to a boil. Once it has come to a boil, your mirepoix, what is the mirepoix? I told you before. Onion, carrot, celery. Put the cover on, bring it to a boil, set it on simmer, and let it cook for at least an hour and a half. Once it's done, all you have to do is take the chicken pieces out, take the bones off, put the meat down, cut it up in any size you want, and put it back in the pot, or make chicken salad out of it. You don't even have to use the chicken meat. You can just take it and put it aside. Now, what I'm going to do is this. I am going to put this aside, and I'm going to make a stock out of the base with this pot of water. All I'm going to do, and there's nothing else you need to do. If you can get this base from a purveyor, or if you are lucky enough to find that some company will be selling a base, and try to get the natural if you can, do that. Your stock is already made. There's nothing else to it. It's simply mixing the base with the water. Now that the stock is there, the next thing you do is, as I've said before, saute the vegetables you're going to put in the stock. So how do you do that? Simply by getting 2 frying pans, add a little bit of butter to each one, and put them back on the top burner. Turn your top burner to medium heat. You immediately saute the chopped broccoli in one, and you don't have to wait for the butter to get hot in this instance. You can begin to do it right away. The chopped cauliflower in the other. Now you have both of them started, and you have your stock all ready to go. You immediately move this one out of the way again, because you've already shown that you can make the chicken from scratch. And you're going to take this and set this aside, because you're going to use the stock to make your vegetable soup. Which one are you going to make? I'm going to make the broccoli. The broccoli's being sauteed. Just take some stock, put it in the pot, put in just the amount you're going to use. You don't have to add any more or any less. Here it is. It's all set. It's on high. This has been sauteed. It's all finished. You dump it into the pot. You turn this off. You move that one over there. You test it. Now, there are several ways. And actually, don't believe the story that chefs dip spoons in and cups and everything else. Most chefs use what is called a monkey dish, a nappy dish, or that dish that vegetables are served to you in a restaurant. And they take a ladle or a spoon, they put it in, they smell it, and then they taste it, just like this, no other way. It needs pepper. So what do? You add a bit of pepper. It's that easy. There you are. You stir it again, and you taste it again. Fine, it's all done. Now, You've turned around and done the broccoli. You do the same thing for the cauliflower. Say, hey, come on, this guy must be kidding. Nothing is that easy. Yes, it is. I swear it is. All you have to do is just follow that simple, basic method, and it's all ready. We've assumed it ready? Sure. Now, you want to serve a nice broccoli soup, a nice cauliflower soup. Here are the florets of the broccoli and cauliflower. There's the cauliflower. There's the broccoli. They're in the pot. Stir them. Bring it to a boil. Set it on simmer. And every once in a while, pick one up and try it. See if it's cooked. You assume now that these are done. You pierce it just right. You taste it again. It's all done. It's flavored just the way you want it. So there it is. 132 different soups. All you have to do is add another type of vegetable. Carrot, asparagus, onion. That's it. So you see, there isn't a clear soup you can't make. Now that we've done that, let me show you how to make the cream soups. This is going to be very simple. We're going to turn around and put on 2 double boilers. Turn the heat on, both. Bring them to a boil. Take both of these and just set them aside because we're going to use both of them in a few minutes. And we're going to put on a pot of hot milk. We're going to thicken this with a roux. Now, a roux is butter and flour used as a thickening agent. The purpose for this is because creamed soups are never served just clear. So we're going to take a roux and we're going to thicken it by adding it to the stock while it is still warm but not boiling. And always remember, if you use a hot stock, add a cold roux. Never add a hot roux to a hot stock. If you do, it will curdle. It will lump up, and it won't be very edible, it won't look nice, and it won't feel very good in your mouth. The reason why I do it this way, with a cold roux in a hot stock, is so that it will thicken slowly, and I will know just how much to put in by adding, after the first piece that I've started with, enough to make it just semi-thick. All I'm going to do with this afterward is add it to the stock base in the double boiler and to both the previously made clear broccoli soup and cauliflower soup. You made it already. This is a clear soup. All you're going to do with that right now is this. You're going to take a ladle and you're going to dish in the thickened, we're assuming this, of course. We're not going to wait that long for it to happen. And you're going to stir it. You're going to make sure it's hot and simmering, but not boiling. Remember now, you've got cream in here, or milk. You don't want to bring it to a boil because then it will break. What do I mean by, it'll curdle. It will curdle just like sour milk does. And by the way, if it does curdle on you, all you have to do is get some chipped ice, throw a handful in, stir it very fast off the stove, and it will bring it right back. If you don't have any chipped ice around, you have some cold milk, pour it in real fast and whip it real fast. It's going to take the curdle right out of it. Now, let's assume you've done it right. You're not worrying about any curdling because you didn't bring it to a boil. All you did was you added the thickened bechamel. Bechamel? Oh, a bechamel. Milk or cream or half and half, thickened with a roux. What's the roux? I already told you. It's butter and flour mixed together, equal portions, cooked off on the stove, and cooked for 5 to 10 minutes if you want a blonde roux. Now, if you were going to make a beef stock, you wanted a dark roux, You just cooked it another 10 or 15 minutes. Okay, now there's your cream soup. There's your cream broccoli. There's your cream cauliflower. All done. It's finished. That was hard. Now we have double boiler. Now we come back with the stock again. What are we doing this for? Because I'm going to teach you how to make two other kinds that nobody makes quite like me. You know why? Because one of them I learned in Italy at Alfredo's. The other one I learned from a good friend of mine from the Court of Two Sisters when I worked in New Orleans. His name was Henri Rene, and he was a fantastic chef. Now, all I'm doing is putting some of the stock and some of the cream, which has been thickened, and you can pour like this, and you'll notice I spill. I'm no different than you. Look, chefs are just the same as cooks, as housewives, as girlfriends, boyfriends, or whatever, who cook at home or in a small kitchen, in a diner, or any kind of a restaurant or hotel, okay? Now then, what we did was we made a creamed base. And we want to make a cheddar cheese soup. Grated cheddar cheese, milk, roux, peanut butter, salt, white pepper. I've already set up the pots. This is very, very difficult. You've got to be very careful. What you have to do is you have to drop the cheese into the creamed base stock that was mixed with the chicken stock, and you got to keep whipping it. Now, you can do it this way. But remember, I've got it in a double boiler, so it can't boil. If it boiled, this cheese would lump up, curdle, stick all over the place. The milk would curdle, and you just wouldn't get it across, okay? Now, beautiful, fantastic. Huh. That son of a gun, Mr. Alfredo, he was good. It doesn't need anything. Oh, wait a minute now. We did that one, but what about the peanut butter? Same base, peanut butter. I'm using a creamy peanut butter. You say, look, it's not coming out. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's coming out. Don't worry, it'll be there. There. All I'm doing is this, whipping it. Whipping it, and guess what? It is almost, oh, it is? It's not almost done. It is done. So what do? You taste it. Don't mind my shaking hand. I'm like you. My hand shakes sometimes, too. Fantastic. That's it. It's all done. All four. They're as easy as that. Nothing else you have to do to it. That finishes the cream soups. So now let's just turn around and go into making our clam chowders. First of all, you have to remember that there are 3 different specific types of clam chowder. The Rhode Island clear, the New England creamed, and the Manhattan with vegetables. Now, you must, in order to be able to prepare these soups, or anything else you're preparing, have your products all ready to go. You don't, in any way, shape, or form, forget to have your properties all set up, because if you do, you will not be able to finish off anything without having to run around all over the place. Now then, to make a Rhode Island chowder, salt pork, ground up, chopped onions, pre-blanched potatoes, because we don't have time to cook it all at one time in this program, chopped quahogs. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is a quahog. It is the largest of all clams. This is uncut. There it is, 1 whole quahog. Clam juice. Oh boy, look at this. Beautiful vegetables, tomato juice, fresh tomatoes, fresh, not canned. and the roux. Now, the purpose of this is simply to make the base chowder, which you do by immediately sauteing the salt pork, and as soon as the salt pork is sauteed, you add the onions and saute them, and in the meantime, you have a stock pot. The water is boiling. You put your potatoes into the stock pot to finish them off, because you're going to make 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 separate chowders with this entire pot of clam chowder base. Again, as I said, you see the flame is on as high as you can get it, and you cook off the salt pork. As soon as that is finished, you add the chopped onion. Now, while the potatoes are cooking and the onions are being sauteed, you immediately incorporate everything together into the pot. Once it has come to a boil and the potatoes have finished, you have to add the clams. They're all set. It's all in the pot now. You've sauteed them all. You've cleared it. You add the clams. You add the clam broth. You bring it to a boil. You set it to simmer. Once it has simmered, you take some out and you put them in 2 separate pots. One, you will be making a cleared soup with. The other, a creamed soup. And the third, a Manhattan. So all you do is this. Just take it out, put it in the pot, and what you're doing now is preparing for a creamed. Your cream has already been thickened with a roux, which, as I told you before, is flour and butter cooked together. Now you have made New England clam chowder. Here, then, you take the basic Rhode Island clam chowder. Indian teach Pilgrim how to make this way back when he first come here on Mayflower. Not wildflower, Mayflower. Now what you do with this is simply add the vegetables. Oh, look at the colors. Beautiful. I could saute this and eat this plain, but I can't. I have to. And especially the tomato, mix it together, pour in a little of the juice. It's easy. This is simple. There's nothing hard about making any of these. All 3 of them are from the base. One thing, period. Pork, sauteed. Onions, sauteed in the pork. Water added. Put the potatoes in, cook them off, add the clams, the clam juice, take part of it, put it in the pot, add a bechamel. The other is the vegetable. There you have it. Rhode Island, New England, Manhattan. Chefs are asked a great many questions by people about different things they've done wrong and why they should do this and that. Today, our announcer and resident student, Mr. William Sackett, has a few.
Hello, Chef Rene.
Hello, William.
I've got a question for you, very important. Yesterday, I had rice for dinner. You've got to help me tonight. How do I reheat rice?
The best method is to take a pot of water, bring it to a boil, get a sieve, put the rice in the sieve, set it over, not into, but just over the water. Put a cover on it.
All right.
Bring it to a boil and let it steam for about anywhere from 12 to 15 minutes.
12 to 15 minutes.
Once that has done, take the cover off and feel it, and you'll notice it's nice and moist, but not sticky, hot and ready to serve. Just as fresh as though you had just cooked it.
Well, you saved me for tonight. Well, wait a minute. There's one more catch to this. All right? How do I keep icing moist?
On a cake?
Oh, yeah, I'm having dessert tonight. You know that.
Simple, simple. Just add a little baking powder to the confectionery sugar before you start making the icing. So once you spread that on the cake, it'll stay moist tonight, tomorrow. I don't recommend you keep it for 4 or 5 days.
No, no.
But it will stay moist.
And now, my dinner conversation for tonight. What does it mean to be a black hat chef?
Oh, boy. Originally, chefs had gathered together on an association. It was out of Greece. They called themselves the International Chefs Association, and their group classified themselves as master chefs. And of course, they had to have some sort of symbol, so they eventually came up with a black hat, black scarf, and so forth. Now, because, as I said, they were considered elite, they wanted to maintain a standard order that only certain ones could get in. In other words, those who were good enough to become members had to study under 5 of those black hat master chefs, 2 years each. That's 10 years.
Amazing.
That's just to become a member of the association. But in order to become a master, recognized by the others as a master and recognized as one of their peers, they had to turn around and go to 25 countries and 3 continents.
Wow.
I was lucky. I got on a yacht and went to 32 countries and 5 continents, and that's how I got my black hat.
Thank you, Chef Rene.
You're
Well,
welcome.
that's all the questions I've got today.
196 recipes in a half hour. That was today's lesson. Now, I enjoyed making them for you. I enjoyed putting them together. Now, all I want you to do is to try them. Taste them and get a taste of cooking the professional way. It's done just like this. This is the way we professionals do it. You'll enjoy it, it's easy, and you can even profit from it. Now, all you have to do is try. Take your time, don't rush, don't add too much, and the one thing you must always remember in anything you cook, never season it all at one time. In other words, when you're adding salt or pepper to a soup, you add just a little bit at a time and taste it every once in a while. When it reaches the flavor that you want, it's finished, you serve it that way. Okay? Now, join me in my kitchen for our next lesson.
To order your personally autographed hardcover cookbook, including over 250 of Chef Rene's favorite easy-to-make recipes, send $20 plus $3 postage and handling to this address. Allow 6 weeks for shipping.
This is the Channel 22 Community Calendar. If you
can slice straight up and down, just like this, either way. And that's your sliced zucchini. Now,
Be busy. I'm so busy myself that I never have the time to buy a watch. See? When I tell you I don't have the time, I mean it. Honest. Now, for all those PC people, we don't have time to cook. These are the dishes. I think it's very, very easy to do. The first thing I want to show you is the 5-spice broiled pork chop. Of course, you can roast it, you can barbecue it, or you can broil it, because I have a broiler here, so we're going to broil it. You can also pan fry it, or you can grill it. It doesn't make any difference whatsoever. Now here, I have 4 pieces of pork chop. This is approximately 2 pounds. Here, I am going to tenderize it a little bit. See?